lizard, 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 lizard.
Hello, Ghost Viking. Welcome in. How are you? Hello, hello. Good evening. I'm checking on some stuff. Give me a few minutes. Hmm. How do I uninstall this? Hi, Bunny. Welcome in. Hello. How you doing, Bunny? Welcome in. I'm just uninstalling some stuff. How is everyone doing today? Thank you for the lovely shout out. I got you. I got you. How's your day going, man? How is everyone's day going? I hope everyone's having a great day. It feels so good when you buy your first bundle in my. I just uninstalled Riot Client and Epic Games. Have you had dinner yet, Bunny? Did you have dinner? I didn't know you had a kitten-sized brain, but why? What do you mean? What do you mean I had a kitten-sized brain? Not yet. It's just 8:30. My dinner time is 11 or 12. Oh. To be on, why uninstall Riot? Because I don't play WoW anymore, no? I don't play any Riot games anymore. Play them? No. Why? Why would I play any of the games that give me a headache after like 2 hours? WoW these days give me a special kind of headache. Oh, it's big for streamers who play WoW. Hmm. Hello, Malik. Welcome in. How are you? It's been so long. It has been indeed. How are you? From they're playing partner program application public IG. Ah, I see, I see. Then maybe I'll install Val in August then. No? I like the hat. I'm never going to tell you how I am. It's okay, it's okay. That's how that's why I bought the Val bundle instead of CS2 knife. Oh, I'm good, I'm good. How you been? How you been, Malik? It's been some time. We have the collab on today as well. We will be collabing with Olax at I think 9:30 in an hour. Mm, well, soon by CS2 knife, but that's भाई 50,000 का knife. Hello? Yeah, I knew. Playing Split Fiction. Oh, I've been good man, just trying to iron life out. Oh, nice, nice, nice. 50K is too low. Uh, huh. Okay. Sure, man. I was gonna look into this new God of War Lofe. I think that's how you spell it. Gameplay reveal trailer. Have you guys seen it yet? Good knives are 20 lakh-ish. Baap re. Hmm. Okay. Give me a sec.
गाइस हम भी आ चुके हैं यहाँ पर
अबे
अरे हरी स्क्रीन नहीं लगाई तुमने
कौन सी
हरी स्क्रीन
हरी स्क्रीन?
पीछे
वो
गाइस हेलो आई मैंने
no, no, don't need that. I'll reasonably human. Hello, Lax. Welcome, man. Who's behind? My brothers. I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Next week it's going to be level 3 flower patch. Oh, I see. Mod steps. Ah, don't mind me, please. Super dress. Yes. Everyone's here. Hello. Hmm. ओ भाई, अरे ओ कॉपीराइट लगवाएगा है? बैंड करवानी है मेरी? मेरा वर्ड म्यूट हो जाता है हरामखोर। साले ये वो है ट्रेलर में आएगी बट वो म्यूट हो जाएगी। कोई बात नहीं, वीडियो तो हो जाती है ना फिर ना इस पे नहीं लगेगा क्योंकि रिएक्ट कर रहा है ना। कहाँ गया? विंडोज कैप्चर लव है। We shouldn't get his word muted. No. Shut up. Didn't give them ideas. You know, only I can hear that. Olax? Only I can hear this stuff. Hi, Maxi. Welcome in. Late. Yeah. You even had the inside info, no? Who's that behind you? My brother's one. मुझे थोड़ा लेट हो सकता है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं। We'll be doing a review of this trailer and then I might go for some Forza. Hello बोल रहा है भाई. Hi.
Hello baby. How are you?
है ना क्यों दिखाना है? Well, I'm gonna go. Okay, man. Take care, Maxi. Thank you for hopping in. I'm gonna drop down the music. I wanna hear the trailer first. Reveal trailer. हाँ Same. I haven't seen the trailer of this before, so I don't know what it's about. देखते हैं. हाँ भाई PS5 कब ला के दे रहा है? ये खेलना है मेरे को.
तो पैसे
ना 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 ऐसे ही लेके आ रहा है.
अरे तू बाद में वो वीडियो बना मैं बोल रही हूँ फिर
I'll mute my mic so they can hear it as well, okay? No sounds from my side for now.
Find your way home. You are free.
Kratos! Atreus! Where am I? You know where I am? Okay. Burned clothes. The pyre. It happened. They're starting on the path. It's just... I didn't get to say goodbye. Bye. This definitely isn't the light of Alfheim. Mask. How? Oh, come on. Shouldn't have been that difficult. Yeah, armor. Good idea. Now, how about a way out?
Audio's back.
Guess I'll find my own way from here.
So Laufey was the wife of Kratos, right? They use the word Fae a lot, so I'm concluding from that.
It's not possible.
Okay, this is gonna be her story now.
If there's another mask,
Yeah.
their path isn't safe. I have to find a way back.
What do the masks entail in this? I have no idea. Oh.
Did she come from the Eagle Onslaught? Not the gates. The gateway is closed.
Mongolian.
That creature.
Oh. They burned this small thing.
Let him go!
Oh shit. Oh damn. So the purple things explode. Oh. Who's coming now? Oh. I'm assuming that's the queen, I think. If the red guy is the king. Ooh.
Another mask. This is important to you. I wonder, do you think this could set you free?
Oh, damn.
You touch me again, and I swear, I will kill you.
Would you like to see how hard it is to die here, Godly? I can show you.
You can't keep me here.
The gateway is closed. There is no escape.
Resisting the truth will only make this more painful.
Ah, shit. Wait, what?
Sekhmet,
No, Betsy. I will handle that problem. You deal with our new pet.
Oh. Yeah, the big lion is the ride. And it can fly. Nice. Shit. What was phase power again?
Okay. I think they're gone.
Just be careful.
Fresh air. Oh, you're different.
You're a cube. Talking. You know what? It doesn't matter. How do we get out of here?
Yeah, we've tried. There's no way out.
And you're a talking sword.
I'm not the sword. I'm the ribbons, obviously. And my name is Rue. The cube is Frank.
I'm Faye. has to be a way out of here.
A way out, but you're not even all here.
Of course I'm not here. I'm dead.
You have to be dead to come through the gateway.
It's like you're holding something back.
This isn't working. Where are we anyway?
Afterlife of the gods? I call it the everyone.
Afterlife of the gods.
Great.
So, what's the plan, boss?
Not your boss, Frank. That cask. That's why you're trapped.
Yeah. Wait, you made that big explosion happen, right? Could you do that again?
Think so.
My magic, it's wrong here. I feel wrong here.
You want out, right?
I think we all want that.
We definitely do.
Faye, you need to accept it. All of it. You're dead.
How? How do I accept that?
Simple. Focus. You're here. Be here.
But what if I need to be somewhere else?
Then focus on what you do need.
Find your way home.
Hey, that's it. What were you thinking of?
Her husband.
A promise.
Okay, we'll take it. Now let's get out of here.
Okay. Get ready.
Wait! Not a good idea. Bad idea.
Kratos. Kratos.
Is like everything exploding in tandem. Oh,
Rue? I think you should give her the sword.
How do I know I can trust her?
I'll give it back. I promise.
Okay. Take it.
oh, oh. That's some like Doctor Strange shit. Send them to the celestial world and then beat their body when they can't like connect to it.
You need to get out of here.
Not until I get you out.
I don't need help.
Here we go, coming up behind.
Oh. Oh. Wait, what? She went astral, right? When that guy like hit her? Let me check one thing. Give me a sec.
Got an idea on opening that cage.
throw them? Yeah, throw them.
Come on! No! I got a promise to keep.
Fine, but lady, that sword, it's more than you think it is.
Oh, it's a red guy, I think.
I already told you! I will kill you.
Don't make promises you can't keep, Gotham.
Oh, first boss fight.
Try again!
Faye, focus!
Fire! I will wrench you thread by thread! You don't know what you wield.
What is it?
See? That astral form. The cube's fighting with us.
You're scared of this sword. Why?
I fear nothing!
Oh. Oh.
Just give up!
I don't give up!
Oh, damn. Ah, shit. It's coming back. Oh, damn. R2. Oh.
Hi, I'm Corey Barlog, head of creative at Santa Monica Studio. Thank you for watching this extended look at the next core game in the series, God of War: Lao Fei. You know, telling
release. We're super excited and cannot wait to show you more of the magic and danger that awaits Faye. Until then, thanks again for watching. Bye.
When is it launching? Wishlist now, coming soon. Coming soon, okay.
I go.
Hi. Okay, that was the trailer for Lao Fei. Need to get a PS5, man. I need a PS5 now. PS is getting like so many new games. Okay, what now? We go for a bit of Forza. We drive in Forza for a bit till Olax arrives. We can try. Thank you, Ghost Viking. Hopefully I don't run out of controller battery before the collab. Imagine the battery runs out. We'll have to switch to like wired gaming if that happens.
Welcome back, X.
Oh, did I buy the living hell his controller battery? Did I buy the Revolto last time on stream? Or was it like after the stream? Was I able to complete the auction yesterday? Viking, did you see me drive this car yesterday? Collection journal. No, I didn't. Okay, I got this one yesterday. It was auction. The car is worth 365,000. I got it for 179, I think. If I'm not wrong. Like almost half the price. Cars, upgrade and tuning. Auto upgrade. S2. 43,000, right? Sure. But this was not optimized correctly, that's the thing. The car was not properly optimized. S2. Apparently it can't go to R, otherwise I would have taken this to R. Finally a proper game. Hi Kesh, welcome in. How are you? Steam or Play Pass? Play Pass. I don't have enough funds to get a 5,000 rupees game, man. I would run out. But I think I'll be able to like complete the whole game in 2 months, most probably. Like 100% the whole game. But yeah, how are you, Kish? Welcome in. What you up to? Go 2 months for 100% of this? Yeah, GG's. I'm not saying I'm sure, but the amount of hours I play the games, I'm not saying I can't. All I do is play games, man. I'm a non-working individual, so 100% thing might not be that difficult. I know you can. You'll just end up looking like a zombie. I already do. Off-roading in a Revolto. Sheep. What level you at right now? The lowest one. And Assassin Blade has gone ahead of me again. I'm level 19, I think. Yeah, level 19. Ads are finished. Okay. Kesh, I'm level 19 right now. Roads discovered, nice. Gotta go over there as well to get this one as well. Let's go next. It's this one. Yeah. I'm at level 8. I was shocked at that. What the fuck? Do you have the game as well then, Kish? Do you wanna play right now? What's your playtime on this? Around 8 hours, I think. I started this Sunday. Earlier the plan was that I only play when my friends join me. But mine is 8 hours too. Wait, what? You're level 8 after 8 hours. Nah, I'll never play this game. It's fucking rage bait. What do you mean? How is it a rage bait? What happened? What happened when you played the game? I want to know the story now. How is this game a rage bait? My car keeps doing donuts. Skill issue, bruh. Skill issue. Imagine being placed 11th on August. Oh my god. That's a skill issue. I mean, even my car can do donuts, but yeah, you have to control it, no? Which car did you choose, like, for the first car? Was it the red one? Because if you chose the red one, of course that's gonna do donuts, because that was a drift car. First was Sylvia. Even mine was Sylvia. Sylvia is a good one. Not gonna lie, Sylvia is worse than red one. Bro, I got all firsts in Sylvia. What do you mean? My friends were playing with me. One of them chose the Jimmy. One of them chose the red one. And I think I've come first in all the races we have done together. Except the ones I gave up in already. Oi, I'm not watching on road. I'm not looking, I'm just driving without looking. To be honest, I like this game just for the looks, man. The views of the game are so good. I don't care about the races. Oh,
As if a
Porsche.
959 is sat outside a convenience store just gathering dust.
Shimano Yamaha.
See if you can spot it.
Spotted outside a convenience store in the Shinoyama region in a Porsche 959. Stop.
Check it out.
Stop.
Looks like it's in a town.
In a town. If it's near where I come from. Oh my god. No. Yes, exit photo mode. Anna, drone mode. Gotta find the car. It could be anywhere, not gonna lie. It can be anywhere. Oh my god. I love drifting, and bro, mechanics are so much different than NFS. Of course it's different. Bro, even I tried it after NFS and it took some time to like get used to it. This is not it. There's like a convenience store around here. Found it. I found it. But too much difference. Yeah. I would say just play for the leisure, man. Don't do races as soon as you start. Just play the game for the buildings and the views, and then you might enjoy it for a bit, and then you can hop onto races when you like learn how to control a car. Because like each game is gonna have a bit of a difference from the other in terms of mechanics and stuff. Even in terms of handling, the cars are gonna be different. I think it was around here, no? Where did that thing go? Where did it go? It's supposed to be here. Is it that? But I don't play more than 20 minutes in one go. Porsche 959, let's go! No bro, I'm telling you, this game is my bad. I keep saying I hate it, not gonna play it. Then end up logged and loaded first thing in the morning. Damn.
Completely iconic and completely ready for a clean. Would you look at that shine? It really is the least we could do for such a groundbreaking car back in its prime.
I'll hop in the new one, man. I wanna try it. How the fuck did you find this so quick?
Nice. Okay.
I used the drone mode, no?
The 959 was the supercar that set up
As soon as you get like a notification that there is a treasure car nearby,
it had back in the 80s.
not even a single car. Oh, Porsche 959. Hi. You can go into the drone mode and search the clues. If you need help, I can help you with finding cars. It is slow right now, but I think after like tuning it up and everything else, this is gonna be a fun car, man. Tuning, yeah. You can tune the cars, no? What do you mean by that? Wait, I'll show you. I've been running stock. Cars. Tune car. See this? You can change everything. Tires, gearing, alignment, anti-roll, springs, dampening, aero brake, differential. Everything you can tune it to like your preference. But what I do is I go to like the home, basically Maze house, and you can auto upgrade and auto tune so it runs better. Oh. What is that? Anastasia. How much? It's an epic car, but is it worth it? 32, sure. Store car in garage. Let's go. I want to tune this. I want to upgrade this one. Cars, upgrade and tuning, auto upgrade. It's an A, it can go to S2. How much for S2? 68. Even after 68k, it's gonna be at 878. But is it worth it? Sure. I'll spend. Upgrade presets, custom tuning, my tuning, overload players, car mastery. And now design and paints. Find new designs. Let's see. Hopefully there are anime designs. Like the Revolto was good one. Porsche. Oh, the Gengar one looks good. Wait, DXD? Let me check the DXD one. Oh. For those who know, oh, race on this side. I mean, there's not much on this. It's just a black one with some decals on top. Hi. Campaign. My Horizon Return Home. School DXD, yes. It was a DXD car, but not as good as my other one. I have another Rio Screamery car, I think. Cars, design and paints. Find new design. This one was not as fucking wanker. You know me so well, man. Anything else? Anything else? I like the color for the Gengar one, but the decal was not as good. The Batmobile. Forza livery. Nah. The Marlboro one, no. Wait. Makima? You can't put customized decals? I think you can, but I don't know how to. Plus, I don't want to waste too much time and just like... Or it's unique. This might be good enough, I think. I want to see the other side though. I could only see one side. Yeah, this is good enough. This is good enough. Oh, Yashiki house. Looks like tobacco spatter. That's blood. Like you run it through. I think it's Makima's ability, no? The blood ability. See? Viking, you like it? I like it, man. It's good enough. For now, it's good enough. Plus, I want to test the tuning as well. See how fast it is now? I think it was an A car already, and we turned it to S2, so it's way better now. even turning and stuff. How are the brakes? Brakes are good. I like the brakes. Though we do need to like get money for a new house. I think I want to get a new estate. How do we get up there? I want to get on top of that bridge. So we can complete this road. You love it? No, I like it too. I'm glad you guys like it. Because it's gone through shit in front. Oh my god. Over 300. Over 300. Over 300. Where's the... Yes. How many does Assassin's Blade has now? He has 73. I don't think I'm gonna be catching him in that anytime soon. Where is this? Oh, there it is. Now though I only drive Supra in this game. Oh, I have a Supra as well. Kilometer per hour. kph. No, kmh. Not kph. You want to see my Supra? Wait, I'll show you the Supra. I'll show him the Supra. You want to see the Supra from the side? 3, 2, 1. We got an S-Death Supra. Why the fuck is mine plain blue? I don't know. When you can have S-Death on that, no chance I'd keep it plain blue one. Kesh is jealous now. This is not even my best car, and I got a classic Supra. I think I got this one as a gift from somewhere. This is the Porsche. Oh, this is my Silvia. I turned it into a Hoshinoi car. Lancer Evolution into a Megumi car. Mitsubishi GTO into a Akatsuki one. Revolto into Ado. Beat Honda into something, I don't know. This one is also actually kind of good. Show him your kid. Which one was my kid? Do you mean the my son one? Do you mean this one? Aston? Yeah. Aston is the best one. Is the best car I have. It's a R-rated car, which means you can't upgrade it even if you wanna. Like, look. Bunny Girl Senpai. Wait. I'll show you that. I'll show you properly. Give me a sec. You like it, Kish? Fucking gooner. As if you wouldn't do the same, man. As if you wouldn't do the same. I got this one for playing Forza 4. I would in a heartbeat. That's not a problem. That's a problem. Which road takes me back on the thingy? I wanna get back on the bridge, man. Take me back on the bridge. I'm sure this roads are also not like opened up, so might as well do that, but I wanna complete the bridge. Oh wait, is car doing donuts because they all stop? I'm not sure. Your tuning might be a bit different, but if you have been only riding the Silvia, I think if you upgrade it, it might stop doing the donuts. Donuts are actually kind of difficult to control in this, because even this can like start doing donuts anytime at once. See? See? It just started doing donuts on its own. But then you have to control it. Drive an Aston Martin or drive a road. Yeah, what's the harm, man? It's not like I'm actually paying money to do this. You want a controller, right? Yep. Bodia stream. There's another car. Oh, a Beetle. I like Beetles, man. Beetles can be converted into anything. But I don't think a Beetle should be worth that much. Do you have a Lambo too? Yeah, I do. The first car I had on like when I started the game, that was a Lambo as well. I got the Lambo yesterday. I don't even know if this game got a Gallardo or it's my favorite Lambo of all time. It has one, I think. It's got one. It's got a Gallardo. Change car. What I got is a Revolto. I got this one yesterday, like after stream. I was gonna get it on stream, but then the power went out. So I got this after stream. I had put in the auction already, so I already bid it when I was live. But then the power went out, so the auction finished when the power came back. By that time I had already like stopped streaming. Okay, I'm ahead in road discovery now. Nachiran, I've already done that. One those. For Gallardo, I can grind. You don't even need to grind, man. Wait, I'll show you how. Cars by
lizard.
You go to auction house, search auctions. go to make, search Lambo, then you go to model and you search the Gallardo. You want the Gallardo Spider or is there anything else? I think Gallardo Spider might be the only one they have. If you see the other one, do tell me. But for now, I'll do the Spider. Say confirm. So you see this, like this is buyout is too much, right? But if you find like one that's priced literally quite low, go over there and you bid on that. Auction details. Say this one's going for 56 right now and it's gonna close in 7 minutes. I say Lago peak and if his memory is unlocked. So people are already bidding like quite a lot. This one's gonna let's see, this one's gonna go for 50. I can go for 56. Place bid. For 56k I can get a Gallardo right now. And I'm winning the bid right now. That's the thing. If no one bids on this for 7 minutes, I win this car. That's how this game works. So you don't even need to like get the maximum amount of money. And look over here, there's one for like 21k. If I bid on this and I win this one, you made this game better for me. So imagine that someone else bids on the 50k one. See, I got outbid. Now I can decide whether I want to bid again or no. Right now I'm winning on this one. So if I win this, I don't need to spend like extra 40k, right? I'm going to pay to win more now. Oh, someone, I think outbid me, no? But I will keep bidding on this one just in case. Because the price is going to go up either way. $69 and $21k. Whichever bid finishes first, I'll win one either way. I'll have a Gallardo by the end. And if I get outbid on both, it doesn't matter. It's okay. Get it later. No. We're gonna win it now. Just 5 minutes. But till then, auction alerts. Let's see. Yeah, I already bid on that. If you get outbid, they'll send you like a notification. So you can bid again. See, I'm winning this one. My auctions. No, my bids. You can check your bids over here. I love it because of Aiken Smackdown. Let's complete this road. I think this is a drag strip, if I'm not wrong. This might be a drag strip.
Insatiable urge to go fast, but
oh
less
shit!
urge to steer. Hit up the drag meet. Okay.
Oh, Mustang.
Find an empty grid spot and we can begin.
Sure, give me a Mustang. Store in garage. Oh, it's still beaten up. You can go to cam and reset all cosmetic damage. And now you can go back. All damage is gone. Soon we're gonna win the Gallardo. New discoveries, wait, what? What was that? There was something over there. Car Meet Horizon Festival.
Looking to show your car off? Of course you are. This is a perfect spot. These car meets are where all us like-minded petrol heads park up and just, you know, admire. This festival car meets a good vibe. Bit of music, bit of a buzz. Just find an empty space and park up. Extra cred if you reverse in. You'd reverse in, wouldn't you? Yeah, you would.
Park car.
Go check out the other cars. I guarantee you see something cool. If you do, maybe you can add it to your garage. You can even convoy up with anyone here. Community, that's what it's all about.
I don't think there are other cars right now. So we can go. Message center. Daily payouts. Okay. Auction house. Let's check. Collection journal. Got something. Confetti cannon. Okay. My Horizon wheel spin. We got one wheel spin. Let's see. What do we get? Give me a car. No. 15k again. Car mastery. No. Oh, I don't think I have the song request on. Give me a sec. I'll refund yours and I'll start again. Give me a sec. Songify. Hopefully I didn't uninstall it. Should be working now, I think. Yeah, do one now. I think it should work. Just saw kid crashing on scooty. मजा आया भाई रे. Are you outside right now? Yes. Right. You can do song requests now, I think. It should work. Festival site, let's go. Hopefully the auction house has got my stuff. Auction alerts too. We got outbid. Fuck. The auction's gonna go, man, like this. बाप रे. इतना बढ़ गया प्राइस एकदम से. Let's see. How much can we go for this one? Yeah, sure. 106 is still okayish price for a Gallardo. Pay this. Come on. Please try again. What? It's gone, I think. I think it's gone. Let's try on this one. Might be able to get this one. If we are fast, that is. Hmm. 5 minutes. Going back home after scoring. Oh, nice. Good job. You do not have enough credits. Oh, shit. Now let me check if that worked. Yeah, it worked. Love this disgustingly beautiful song. I'm winning on this one. I can't even bid on that one because that's too out of my reach. But the cars are going to keep coming in. If you have enough money to like bid below the buyout price, it's worth it. I'm not gonna bid anymore on the Gallardo right now. We do need to win some races to earn more, I think. Let's get this one.
Turn around when it is safe to do so. In 400 meters, you will arrive at your destination.
Saving my credits. I got 2 mil. Damn. I don't save anything, man. I'm getting my Gallardo tonight. You don't need 2 mil for a Gallardo. Ready up.
Wait for the green light and go. 3, 2,
1, go.
That's it. Drop the hammer down.
I didn't know you could upgrade cars.
You've arrived at your destination.
Nice. That's a time officially logged. Think you can do better?
I might be able to. But I'm gonna need a different car. Hi Blaze, hi Blaze, hi Blaze. Hi Cold, hi Void, hi Prime. How are you? Welcome in. What's you up to, Void Prime? Oh shit, no. Oh, good thing I slammed in there, because otherwise I would have been off the mountain. Can I do better than that? I think I can.
Easy, Tiger. You have to go on green.
8, 9, 7, yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. कुछ नहीं, थोड़ी देर स्ट्रीम देख लेता हूँ, फिर पढ़ी में खराब भी करना है, पढ़ी में मतलब.
You've arrived at your destination.
Oh, I was slower this time. भाई फदी क्या होता है? Study, sorry. अच्छा लिख के भाई मैं कुछ और मतलब निकाल गया था अभी। नहीं वो मतलब यहाँ सुनाने का कोई फायदा नहीं है, रहने देते हैं। But how you been, Word Prime? कैसे हो? एग्जाम है ना तुम्हारा अभी? आई थिंक वीकेंड में। अरे हिंट तो दो भाई। फदी का एक लेटर चेंज कर ले थोड़ा सा, वो कुछ और बन जाएगा। एक हिंट और ले ले, वावल चेंज करना है। समझ गया बस वे मैं को वहां पे कैसे दिमाग खराब हो सकता है? मैं क्या कुछ गलत कर रहे हो फिर तुम? Oh, almost made it. Yeah, bro. Turn on the Songify. Songify is on. Jitters like crazy. Do you not hear the Spotify? I think मेरे भी आ रहा है थोड़ा सा. Thing is, this game actually takes so many resources. भाई स्टडी के चक्कर में वो भी नहीं. Not playing games will need to touch grass. बिटरेट ठीक जा रहा है. बिटरेट तो ठीक जा रहा है. अपेरेंटली कोई लैग नहीं होना चाहिए बस. भाई पीसी लैग हो रहा है अभी. आई थिंक आई नीड टू चेंज दिस बिकॉज जो ऊपर वाला है ना, इसका ऊपर वाली लाइनिंग्स वो यार ब्लर सी है थोड़ी सी.
Civil engineer working on the radio towers in the area messaged me about an abandoned car. Check the photo. Looks like a Mazda RX-7.
Could be another treasure car. Another treasure car might be. Bhai, another treasure car. Let's see.
Left all alone in what looks like an open, grassy expanse. Ah, heartbreaking.
Tower के पास. This game is beautiful, yeah. Yeah. Of course. Kish, इनमें से तुमने कौन सी गाड़ी देखी है? For which car do you have the clues? Because I know the location of all of these except this one, which I'll find right now. It's in a near a tower. So we stay over here. Go to Anna, drone mode. And now we just search for towers, I think. Where could the towers be? The red towers. Let's go up. Kyunki hopefully we'll be able to see towers from up top here. There are the towers, and I think that one might be the one we are looking for. Because there is a house nearby. Imagine this is not Horizon 6 but secret GTA 6 to see people, see action. Yeah, this is it. I think the car is around here. There it is. So now I have like a waypoint to go on the map. So I can just follow this. But before that, cam, reset, cosmetic damage. Yes, yes. If this was it, if this was GTA, first of all, GTA is gonna be in Los Santos and this is Japan. So, not a good chance that this can be GTA. Secondly, you would be able to kill people. You can't kill anyone in this.
In 400 meters, turn right.
No police as well in this, no? You don't get like chased by anyone. That's the point. They are not dropping this. Not dropping hints. Nah. Still not gonna be GTA.
In 400 meters, turn right.
If GTA was made in Japan, it would not be GTA. It would be Yakuza, I think.
In 100 meters, turn right.
Cause GTA has always been more like a US side kind of thing. If you're gonna change the story, it's gonna be a Yakuza story then. Everything is a part of their plan. Japanese GTA. Japanese GTA exists. It does exist. But it's called the Yakuza series. New story found. Where is it? There it is.
In 400 meters, turn left. Turn left. You have arrived at your destination.
Mazda RX-7.
Who'd leave a car like this all the way out here? With an engine sound like the RX-7, it is a complete crime that it's been silent for so long.
RX-7, RX-7. Not MX-7.
Honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing, well, hearing it in action.
What's your dream car? Lambo, I think. Any Lambo.
Such a classic sports car. Actually, thinking about it now, the RX-7 was the first in a line of fast, sporty Mazdas. A pioneer, really.
Any Lambo. I don't want to destroy these because these are like really good ways of like fast traveling in the world. But unless you don't destroy these, you won't get like 100% of the game completed. So I have no choice but to destroy them. I'm still far behind Assassins. Okay, this is a slow car. Let's see how it does for a drift. It is a good one for drifting, I think. It might be good for drifting. Let's try again. Maybe tuning is required. Tuning is required for sure. It feels like it has a motorcycle engine, man. Right now it feels like it has a motorcycle engine. Right now it sounds like a motorcycle engine. I don't know why. It might not be, but I don't know. I'll change car in a few minutes. As soon as I reach a crossroad, I'll change a car. Back to Revolto. Or maybe Porsche even. Where's the Porsche? Randomly destroying those poor workers' hard work. Who spent days to put those roadside barriers. Treasure car, let's go. Total winnings 1 mil. This car seems so good. It is good. You want to see what it looks like? You want to see how I built this one? Give me a sec, give me a sec, give me a sec, give me a sec, give me a sec. Reset cosmetic damage. It's a Makima car. Makima Porsche. Then it's definitely a W. Nothing new in shot. Okay. Base of the Tokyo Tower. Bro, WW. Ooh, 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 ooh. How much for this one? 171. I don't have money for this. I don't have enough. Time to go race. Gotta race now. Kinda F1 car. Let's see. Which one can I do right now? Closest one. This was a C. Olax has sent a collab request. Give me a sec. Let me check. Hi, Olax is here. Gotta switch to the other camera mode. Snorlax, yes. अबे यार ये इधर क्यों आ गया? हेलो, अभी दिखाना नहीं था. भाई साहब सब कुछ अटक गया भाई, सब अटक गया. Everything's lagging. Give me a sec. Do I see the lag? Yeah, it's lagging. भाई अल्ट्रा पे चल रहा था गेम. हेलो, मेरा पीसी मर जाएगा. रुक जाओ. Come on, जल्दी. Fuck. Preset. Come on, हो जा. हो जा भाई. Space. Applying settings, please. Oh no, Blaze's PC. Please breathe. Here, don't lose. Oh भाई चल गया. अभी मर गए थे. Damn bro. अभी मर गया था पीसी यार. 2 मिनट और एक्स्ट्रा होती ना, पीसी गया था. Ultra XD. Should we share chats with Olex in a while? Yes. Has she started stream? Ghost Viking. I can now turn on my cam in that window. Away, yeah. Copy, next, confirm. Yes. Now Blaze is back. Yes, I'm back. I'm at the bottom right now. I'm at the bottom right of the screen now. Is it back? Is it working properly now? भाई रे अभी सब कुछ मर गया था. I'll check her stream for if she is live right now. Hello, hello. Olax, can you hear me? Maxi? Hello.
Hello, mister.
Give me a sec.
Sir,
Hmm.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
What are you doing?
Collab?
With who?
Olax.
Olax?
Hi.
I knew it.
Who else, man? Who
You
else?
waiting?
I am.
You waiting?
I am. Uh, I'm waiting for her to join a VC, and then can you drag her up when she does?
I don't have permission.
I think you have. You have admin, no?
No, I don't have permission to move for channels where I don't have like edit permission.
Oh. So I'll have to do it on
Like
my
the
own.
Yeah, in the
But
game zone, like wait, where's last? Yeah, at Game Central, the tab, like category. I need permission, like to change things, so I can like move.
streamer
Where's the
friend.
tab?
Ah. Okay, we can wait. We can wait till she joins the VC. I'll drive her.
Okay.
Yeah, it's working. आज तो PC on हो गया. कल का पता नहीं. Same, bro. I don't know if it will work tomorrow. We can drive at least now. Huh? What?
Have fun.
Bye bye. Take care, Maxi. अल्ट्रा में पसीने छूट गए थे पीसी के भाई. New street race found. Oh. Shimanoyama. I'll wait till she joins VC. Can someone tell me when she does? Oh, Ghost Viking is there, right? कुछ दिन पहले पीसी साफ किया था, आज पूरा ही साफ हो जाता. I'm aware. Okay. Can you tell me when she joins a VC so I can drag her up? Thank you. Thank you, Ghost Viking. Boss. I. I don't want this. I don't want that. Lord Viking. Where's the This is a new area. So I want to complete the roads as soon as possible. Fuck. Fuck. Damn, Blaze, you're so good at this. Right? The rewinds are actually good in this. Area discovered. Wait, he has discovered more areas than me? Fuck. Even though I have more roads, he has more areas. OMG, I never knew Blaze is Doctor Strange 2. Shit. No. Yeah, I had the time stone. I think this is where we took the photos last time. Can you see the droplets on the car? Okay. Photo. Yeah. It says nothing new in shot. What does that mean? Swap photo. Yes. This is way better. Mount Fuji in the back. Oh shit. Okay, can't drive this on off-road. This was a bad idea. This reminds me of the 6 days from Tokyo. To me, it feels more like Lightning McQueen. Turn right to go left. That's what it reminds me of, because that's what I'm trying to do right now. Turn right to go left. Ooh, that was a good one. Oh, no. Where is this? What is this place? Kill the bowl. Bro, this gave me a strange feeling. Imagine living this life IRL, car like this, plus place like this. Just have to go to Japan, man. Is this a place you can buy? I think this is a place you can buy like later in game. Like imagine this is an estate that you can buy. Yeah, I think so. Because there was a guy over there that was literally in a position that opens up when you like get out of an estate. Olax is in VC right now? Oh, okay. Hello.
Hi, Blaze. I was waiting for you. I was going to text you, but it became very difficult.
I was waiting for you. I'm still driving. I was like, till she arrives, I can drive and.
So I sent you a collab, na? That's why.
Uh-huh.
Okay, it's fine. You finish your thing. I'll just
I'm done.
just chat for a
I'm
while
done.
then.
I'm done. I exited.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
God says hello, Blaze. Looking extra nice today.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Hi, Chris. Welcome to the stream.
Olax, can you turn on share chat? Yeah.
I'm turning on share chat. Wait. I was
Okay,
actually
thank you.
waiting for you so that I can ask you if I can.
Yeah. I told Viking tell me when she arrives in VC, so I can pull her up.
So I joined, but I was actually going to text you. I was waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Once you hop in.
This is such a gentle.
What happened?
Wild Prime said Blaze is such a gentleman. For what though? I didn't do anything. Okay, I'm turning on your cam on my stream, and it's pixelated.
I think your voice is fine. I was checking the voices.
Mm-hmm.
He was busy drifting. Okay, cool, boy. How are you, Blaze?
I'm good. How are you? How was your day?
Sorry, I late because I had to reinstall the game. Because of
Mhm.
course I uninstalled the game. I reinstalled and my dinner got late and everything. Olax, do you have notifications on for chat messages? In Discord? In Discord, Chris? Hi, silly Atharv or Discord.
Uninstall? Why? Because not everyone's stupid like me to keep the game for when you're not even playing it.
I hear pings about messages on your stream. Maybe I'm hearing things. No, it should not be because my streamer mode is enabled. So even I cannot listen. मतलब I can listen, but अभी मुझे कोई भी pings आए नहीं है. If I'm not wrong, it should not be. I keep the streamer mode enabled, तो ping आवाज आती नहीं है, ping की आवाज. But एक बार वापस देख लेता अगर किसी का मैसेज आएगा तो I'll see. Hello, people from the other side. Mr. Bunny says hi. How are you, Cold Void? Welcome to the stream. Hi, Calibran. This is such an amazing game. Have fun. Thank you so much, Calibran.
Hi,
I hope you're
Bunny.
doing good. Hello, everyone from All Access stream. Hi. Hi, Viking.
Give me a sec. भाई
आगे
शेडर्स
के क्या
क्या
करें?
शेडर्स का क्या हुआ? ये आज नए शेडर्स आए क्या इनमें?
क्या सेटिंग्स चेंज हो गई क्या? मैंने बस ग्राफिक्स
maybe.
लो कर दिए थे.
चलेगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. मेरे कंपाइल हो रहे हैं शेडर्स ना. आई थिंक मे बी बिकॉज इट्स बिन सम टाइम सिंस आई स्टार्ट द गेम, तो इसलिए हो सकता है. Tara, which state you live in if you can tell? Haryana, man. I'm from
ए
Haryana.
एंटी एलाइजिंग कहाँ पे रखा था तूने?
देखना पड़ेगा यार. I think off था मेरा.
None है?
I think so. I'll have to check
Okay.
क्योंकि anti-aliasing does like affect your GPU.
Mhm.
From
Oh,
Gujarat.
okay. Because I think last time मेरा on था. Hello to Haryanvi border people from Gujarat border.
But
Hi to the Maharashtrian borders as well. Mr. Bunny, tell which state you live in if you can tell. Oh my god.
भाई ठीक है भाई.
Mhm.
रुको मैं थार और फॉर्च्यूनर लेके आया. बॉर्डर पे मिलना है ना. Oh, let's go. चल गया. Okay, now to check the options, right? Graphics.
VIP? Now no VIP. Okay, good one. I'll bring Defender. Hello there, Olax. How is it going? Saw you rated Badass yesterday. Yes, Arthur. How are you feeling today? How was your day? Good evening. Welcome to the stream. Chat, show some love to TerraBlaze TV as well. Drop some
And I-
follows if you haven't followed him yet.
और from my side go follow Olax. ठीक है? Otherwise डांट पड़ेगी अब तुम्हें. पिट्टी भी हो जाएगी. हरियाणा वाले
Okay,
पीटते पहले भाई.
And probably
बाद में
some-
पूछेंगे हम लोग.
Yeah.
मैं कहा हरियाणा वाले पीटते पहले पूछते बाद में कि क्या गलती थी.
Oh.
तो तभी
अच्छा, oh my
तभी
God. सच में?
फॉलो करके आओ फटाफट.
मेरी मम्मी भी ऐसे ही पीटती थी. पहले पीट दिया फिर पूछा.
कि क्या गलती की तुमने.
Hola, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? How was your day? My day was
Followed
amazing,
cause
Jazz.
cow.
How are you feeling? How
What
have
if
you
I
been?
already did? हाँ, then you're a good boy. If you already did, you're a good boy. फिर नहीं डांट
I'm
पड़ेगी.
feeling good. I was playing the fun games with the viewers today. Oh, that's nice. Oh, were you streaming, Athar? Were you streaming?
Olax, anti-aliasing is at AMD FSR 3.1. And FSR
3.1,
at
yeah. मेरा पहले वही था.
FSR at native AA.
Okay, same here. VSync off. Frame
VSync
rate
is off.
120 FPS.
Yes. Texture quality up to you.
Quality मैंने
I
तो
think
high
तुम्हारा
कर,
medium
मैंने
था.
जो भी हाई मेरा जो अल्ट्रा था ना मैंने हाई किया, जो हाई था वो मीडियम कर दिया. मैंने यही सेटिंग की आज करने के बाद. फिर मैं सोचा कि as the game proceeds I'll do that. Yeah, I've been streaming daily for 2 weeks. Oh, that's nice, Athar.
Lizard,
Chat, show some love to
lizard,
Silly Athar.
lizard,
He is a
lizard,
streamer as
lizard,
well.
lizard,
And
lizard,
good, Ola,
lizard,
thanks
lizard.
Let's
for
go. By
asking
2
to
weeks
chat dinner.
regular.
Oh, what did you have for dinner? Do you have NVIDIA GPU or AMD GPU? NVIDIA. NVIDIA.
Same. मेरा भी
NVIDIA.
NVIDIA ही है.
Yep.
दाल चावल भाई. Nice.
Dal chawal. Oh, that's nice.
मैं खुद राजमा चावल खा
Whenever
के
you get
बैठा हूँ.
ready, just send me a request.
Yes.
Ah.
Bro, I woke up at 5:30 at today. 5:30 p.m.
Oh my god, I got scared. Viking, I got scared. Thanks, Viking. Hi, welcome to the stream.
Check now. I think you should have
हाँ जी, आ गया,
invite.
आ गया. हाँ, 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 हाँ. Yep. Let's go. How's it been? She, who is names nobody.
Oh, you're gonna hate this right now.
What happened? Oh my god, what is this?
You remember this?
I remember this. Oh my god, I forgot. I think an article I found may be helpful.
Pepsodent and Colgate
Hi,
returns.
Alvin. Welcome to the stream. How are you feeling? Chat, hydrate yourself. It's from Nvidia on proper setting. Up OBS for Nvidia, GPUs for streaming. Okay.
with the article I found may be helpful. Oh. Thank you, Void. Thank you, thank you. Watermelon
Oh, you have
flavored
put on music
juice.
while playing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just
to
so when
check
we
the music.
pause, it doesn't go. Um, hmm. I'll say for bandana redeem. Looks cool. Right. पता है when you send the collaboration request ना, I turn
हाँ
on
जी
the NVIDIA cam और भाई game already was taking like 6 gigs of GPU. 2 gigs was taken
Ooh.
by OBS. I have 8 gigs. जैसे ही NVIDIA on किया पूरा PC crash down. मैं कहा ये क्या हो गया भाई? सारा lag.
Wait, so weren't you streaming?
I was,
Oh,
but everything lagged ना.
streaming topic ने हाँ? Oh, okay.
No. Stream was working because GPU was still giving memory to OBS, but everything lagged like hellfire.
Got it. Mr. Bunny, I don't have the bandana, honestly. I don't have the bandana actually today. So sorry. I don't even know where the bandana is. कल तक था, कल तक कोई use नहीं कर रहा था. Yeah, I'm so
He
sorry.
almost
I
lost his PC
don't
today.
know.
Thank
Wait,
God.
just give me a minute, Mr. Bunny, if I can find.
Well,
I'll try to find it. Just give me a minute.
Mods, I appeal to ban Olaxy TV from the chat. Why? Thank God the operation was successful. I was able to turn on the graphics to high instead of ultra. Labubu, where you at?
मेरे बाल इतने अच्छे लग रहे हैं ना आज मेरे को बिगड़ जाएंगे पूरे. Sadly.
आज मेरे को भी अच्छे लग रहे थे मेरे बाल, बट फिर मैं कहा नहीं, टोपी ठीक है.
बहुत अच्छे से वेव आ रहा है एक्चुअली.
यस.
ठीक है 15 मिनट पहनने के लिए क्या बुरा है.
तो कल पीसी ऑन नहीं होगा. कोई बात नहीं, पीसी को माउथ टू माउथ दे देंगे, कोई बात नहीं.
What?
आप फूक मार के चलाएंगे. Easy.
Okay.
Hi.
Are we ready?
Yes, I am. I'm ready.
Nice flower badge.
What kind of lonely ass suggestion is PC को mount to? It needs to breathe, na? PC needs air as well, man. Blaze got. भाई अभी तक गेम शुरू भी नहीं हुआ, ऐसी बातें शुरू कर दी तुमने, हैं? शर्म नहीं आती?
किसने? कौन?
Chat.
Who?
Chat.
Okay. Welcome to the stream, DJ. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you.
Oh my God.
Okay. Shall we start then?
No, that's why we on your stream late. Dead by Daylight.
Yeah. I swear I'm so obsessed with Dead by Daylight, man.
She is pro at this point now in DBD.
I'm actually getting so better. I'm so better now. In past 1 month, I've improved a lot.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but
चलो Fall Guys का time है.
Hey, we were not at this place, if I'm not wrong.
We were, I think.
Chat, show some love to DJ Weed.
Oh shit.
He is a streamer as well. Never mind. Hey, where
Nope.
are we supposed to go?
In front, but ये candy apples आने बंद होंगे तो. Nice.
अरे! Oh!
अबे बाप रे.
अरे अरे what the fuck? मेरे को खेलने का ही नहीं है.
Fall Guys and Colgate Cola.
Good old fashioned
Well, now that you mention
platforming.
it, I got a toothache once and... You know what? Never mind.
Focus, focus, focus.
I'm here.
मुझे नहीं खेलना. Hey bro, we were at some other point, right? Yeah, we were. How did I cross this yesterday, last time?
I don't know.
Hi, Lani. Oh, this music is really nice. Arey! How to jump? Wait.
Lizard, 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 lizard.
Not this way, not
I
this way, not
I
this
don't
way, not
know
this
what your
way.
jump button is.
Hi, cutie. Hi, Lani. Chat, show some love to Lani Arts. She does art streams, cooking streams as well. Follow her. I. Okay, focus. I'm being very.
Oh, Lex, I'm getting so good at this
Oh,
game.
next,
No,
give
she
it.
meant
Oh, give it.
DVD. She didn't say this game. She meant DVD.
What the fuck is going?
We got this.
Okay. Oh, I did it.
Nice. Get up.
Okay. Okay, let's go.
Did you turn off Songify? No, Songify is still on.
What happened? Can you eat the cake? I wish we could. Lani, this is such a really nice place.
Ready? 3, 2.
क्या करना क्या?
Smash.
What are we supposed to?
Just smash this.
Oh, मैं पीछे क्यों चल? How stupid! Oh my god! Stupid place. Checkpoint आया होगा ना?
Oh my god. Oh, she's stuck here again.
How stupid I can be! How
Guys.
stupid!
Bhai, clip that.
Bro, I can't believe, man. What the fuck? I don't believe I इतनी मुश्किल से क्रॉस किया था इसमें.
Oh my.
अरे 1 मिनट में अभी क्लियर हो जाएगा. तुम सोचते क्या हो मेरे बारे? अरे the moment I say that.
I'm clipping that right now. Good job.
No. I think side stories are more difficult.
A tooth-breaking performance, by the way.
I would dive into the chocolate. Lani, this is not the right move in the game. Dive into the chocolate. It looks. It reminds me of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, man.
Just smash this. ऐसे वाला. Nice.
Oh, let's go.
Now just jump up and go there.
I can't even fall back. It's very risky.
Oh, I fell back. Oh no, if you come up, there's a checkpoint.
Oh.
Yeah, that cake is a checkpoint.
Oh, acha, I have to reach the cake. See. Oh no.
This cake is not as sweet as it looks.
Careful of the strawberries, they are like bouncy pads.
I'm not able to jump. I'm not able to jump.
You got this.
Oh, let's go. I have to get on the cake.
Uh-huh.
Sorry. Arey, Lani, you say arey as well?
Oh.
Lani, the chocolate. Lani, the chocolate which you wanted.
Arey, oh.
भाई कैसे कूदते कैसे है भाई? How to jump? How to fucking jump? Mosi, welcome in. Hi, how are you? Hey, how did you reach? It's too far here.
Oh, fuck. My cam's gone. One sec. When it comes down, that's when you jump.
Then I think yeah. I just came to say hi and on energy. Oh, okay. Did you do your 30 kilometer? 30 kilometer? What 30 kilometer? Lani? Oh, Musi. Okay. I thought when did I take a challenge of doing 30 kilometer run or cycling, man? I was afraid. Musi, how are you? How was your day? Are you fasting?
Jump and dash.
Please,
Jump
I'm
and
trying.
dash. No, all good.
Oh.
Strawberries are like bouncy pads. Nice.
Nice.
Good job. You got this.
Let's go. Oh, let's go.
Nice.
Sorry. This is so frustrating.
It's okay.
Nahi.
Now I want cake.
Even I want cake.
मैं आइसक्रीम लेके आऊँ क्या?
Dirtiest mage, hi! Welcome to the stream. How are you?
I'm
struggling. What? That roll.
This is the last part, by the way. This is the last part. You got this. Schedule one याद आ गया.
Not getting this. भाई ये क्या है?
Okay, W playlist. Hello. I'm not doing anything. I never play any songs on my own, man. I just play one and I leave everything else to Spotify. Terra's cam isn't working. Is it
how
not?
did it happen? Oh, it was magic. I didn't even do anything. Terra's cam isn't working. Wait. Blaze, did you turn off your cam or what? Yeah, he turned off the cam. Hi, Rage. Welcome to the stream. How are you?
Because Terra is cheap. Like
Hey, where am I supposed to go? Where am I supposed to go?
up. Go up. Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean mine is cheap like that? What do you mean? Hello. Kish, what did you mean by that?
Ooh,
let's go
and celebrate
Nice.
my birthday.
Just dash.
Anyone's birthday? Happy birthday, bare bardini.
Okay.
Star.
We good?
Oh no 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 no. Oh no.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh. Boss fight. I think.
Either we boss fight. No.
No. Before they play. Oh shit. Ah shit.
Oh,
No no no. Wiggle 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 wiggle. Wiggle 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 wiggle.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Ah shit. I'm gone.
Ah! Ah. What is he doing? What is he doing?
Oh
What is he
shit.
doing?
I'm
What is
dead.
he doing? Ah,
I'm dead.
He's cleaning me. Oh my god, he's cleaning.
Get the pace. Get the pace.
Mummy. Oh, I have to get the pace.
No.
What?
I think. Oh, someone's gonna need braces. What? Run, run, run.
Nine, I don't want the braces. Nine. Sorry. There's a fight to stay dirty.
Oh shit.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it. Wow, that's the last thing I want to be. मेरे पीछे ना आया, मेरे पीछे आया. मेरे पीछे नहीं. Hey, how do you get on him?
I don't know.
Am I supposed to do something?
I'm just biting him.
मैं गिर गई, मैं खुद ही गिर गई.
I think you need to get on top.
I'm not.
Blaze is such a pro player. Look at his other hand, maybe.
Yeah.
There will be prompts like this is what you have to do.
चक्कर में मैं गिर गई. उसको देखने के चक्कर में मैं गिर गई. I fell.
What if I just leave this?
मैं फिर गिर गई. How am I falling? Now the boss just moaning. These sounds are nuts. Yeah.
Oh my god, come on!
Can robots moan? What the fuck is going on?
But Canada is too much at this point.
Surely they can. I mean,
It's not working.
What are you doing? Why are you making him moan? Oh my god, that sound is too.
That's what I'm supposed to do.
Are you supposed to make him moan?
I'm biting his hand off.
Okay, well, that's very kinky of you, Blaze. That's very kinky.
How do I do this properly?
I mean, I don't know. Hey, we got Pepsodent Olax.
I'm tired.
बस इतने में ही थक गया. That's what he
Oi,
said.
नीचे आओ. Jump on his hand.
I can't.
On the green part. जहाँ पे cracks है ना?
Where is the green?
Jump on the crack. Yeah, jump. Break that. Nice. Good job.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Always trust your dentist.
Hey, where am I? Am I in the...
This will get on your nerves.
Oh shit.
I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm still lost. I don't even
I'm-
know where I am. Olax once in
Shit.
fun.
Shit. Pressy.
Yeah, I'm doing this.
Oh shit. I'm gonna go.
Oh no.
Fuck.
No. What is he doing? What the fuck? Oh, this is so painful. I can feel my root canal. I can feel the root canal. Okay.
Did I save you? Collect the Colgates.
Oh no, I have to.
Oh no, don't get in them.
Ah.
You get stuck if you go in there. No.
Oh no!
You get.
I got stuck. Oh, never mind. I got stuck. That's.
I don't know, but that drill reminded me of Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh my god, it reminded me. Oh no! Root canal yaad aa gaya. Okay, this is hurt. Okay, this is so painful. Oh, thank you, bro. This is such a nightmare.
Oh shit! I'm gone. Fuck. You need to join. You need to join yourself. There are 2 of you right now.
Oh.
Try.
Oh. I can't join myself. I'm divided in 2.
You can.
No.
Oh shit. Oh shit, the teeth, sir.
Oh no.
Stay alive.
Oh, attack. I'm attacking. How can
Hey,
you fall?
रुक जा. Attack him now. Nice. Get on top. Get the other hand. Shit.
Ah. Okay, got it. Gotcha.
Come here.
Oh god. Able to get in now. Oh my god, this morning again.
Come on. Here we go. He's making his moan again. I'm trying. Look.
You're trying to satisfy him. Are you trying to satisfy him?
What does it look like, Olax?
Looks like he's.
I'm trying to bring him down. As he should be.
You should go down on him.
On the green cracks. Yes,
Yeah,
over there.
I'm doing that.
Nice. Good job.
Bro. Oh my god.
Do we have to get in him? Oh no.
Wait. Yeah.
Push.
There's something I could. Oh, I'm stuck. Oh yeah, we both are stuck.
Push.
Push. Oh my god, this is crazy.
This game is amazing.
What was that about? What? Huh? That dentist had it coming.
Run.
Hey, am I stuck?
I got out.
I'm stuck. Am I stuck? No.
I think you died.
Okay. Oh my god, this was crazy. Thank goodness. Yeah, I'm. Bhai, that sounds really crazy, man. Hi Gotham, 115 streams straight. Let's go, Gotham. How are you?
100 and what?
15.
I sub.
Hate them. But who doesn't? No one, not a single person in the entire history of the world has ever been excited to
Congrats, man. Congrats on 115.
Don't you dare. But healthy teeth.
मेरी 5 ही नहीं हो रही यहाँ पे.
I can't believe it.
इतने और तो टेराबाइट स्ट्रीम भी नहीं करते लगातार.
Gummy bear turned
Oh, I can fly.
Oh shit.
That can only mean that we cleansed it from the simulation.
No, wait.
How am I supposed to go back?
Yay.
Nice. Got it.
Oh no, we are supposed to go from somewhere else.
Yeah, over here, no?
I think we're supposed to go, yeah. Fly! I can fly, yaar. I love this thing, man.
I can't.
Hey.
Mine is this one. I think yours is that one on the left.
Yep. Let's go. Oh, we're supposed to roar.
Roar.
Wow!
Oh.
Who's that angry turtle? It's the treasure traitor. And it's not a turtle, it's a tortoise.
Oh, break this. Spit.
Oh!
This is mine.
I don't know.
Break the metal one. Break the metal one. You can do it.
Wait. I'm simply running.
Oh, you gotta.
I can't.
You have to break the swords. Nice.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Fire. Oh shit. Wait, what?
Oh my god. Ah!
Huh.
Wait, how will you go? I'm not even getting the time to fly, man.
Oh shit.
I'm not even getting the time to fly.
Same.
Tortoise. Oh, tortoise. Yeah, makes sense, DJ.
Don't let it escape.
I'm not getting time to fly. Bro, how can I fly?
It's okay. I reached, so we can do it now.
In the name of the realm, stop!
I'll press that one, I think.
Let's go.
Oh. Okay.
Savings, savings. Okay, it's a saving.
Oh shit. I fell down. Oh no.
We're supposed to enter.
That was not the way.
Then where's the way?
I think you're supposed to come back.
Never mind.
Destroy that. Yeah.
Yep.
The orbs.
Yep.
Nice.
Let's go.
This is actually difficult.
Oh my god, this is such a difficult way to control, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's difficult to control.
Far more difficult than the normal ones. Oh.
Yep. I was not supposed to go inside, but okay. Oh, this is so difficult, man.
I like the way they have portrayed it, but it's not like. I think this way. X to dash. Oh, fire.
I'm supposed to dash. Oh. I'm not able to understand.
Yeah,
I
it's
can
okay,
fly,
it's okay.
right? Why I'm not even flying?
I don't know. Maybe you can't fly over there.
I can.
Oh, yours.
Wait, what?
Yours. Destroy the hand.
Oh.
Destroy the metal on the hand.
Oh, I destroyed. Yeah, I destroyed the one.
Nope.
Oh my god, I died. Never mind. Where am I? Am I dead or what?
Yes.
Oh, never mind.
You got this. Oh, no! Let me! Yes, nice. Good job.
Oh, nice.
Crack those fingers. Oh, Vaire. Oh.
How can I die?
Shit. I don't know how to do this. Current song. I think it's from Spider-Man
go ahead.
Into the Spider-Verse. Oh no. How do I do this? I can't see. You gotta come back. You went up. Come down.
Oh, I went up, but I lost. Oh, never mind. I can't come back. You are supposed to come. I can't come back. Yeah, see?
Oh. I was just supposed to do the roly-poly. Oh, dang.
Oh.
Break the chains.
मैं ही नीचे चली गई. How? How?
The previous one? Yeah, it's a good song.
It's your turn.
Oh shit. Fuck. Oh, bye.
Oh,
Bach gaye.
nice. Oh, what a timing, man. Oh, bach gayi. Oh, nice. Ah!
Oh, nahi bachi. Nahi bachi.
I swear I didn't. Oh, hi, AK. Welcome in. What's up? Good
Oh, wait, what?
morning. How are you? Did you sleep good, AK? How was sleep? Good morning. Hey, what am I supposed to? Ah! What? Am I supposed to
don't-
destroy something? No, you're supposed to
No.
do this. You're supposed to do this. Yep.
It's
I'll
all
fly.
me.
Oh, nice.
Hence all the security measures. It makes sense, right?
Okay.
Break that.
Yep, I did that.
Others. The other ones.
Yep. Never mind. I think you're supposed to hit them.
Uh-huh.
My aim is really bad.
Go back,
how
go
you-
back.
I'm doing amazing, AK. How have you been? Did you sleep good? How was sleep? Did you have a nice breakfast?
Hi, Akshat.
यार नहीं हो रहा यार. एक minute.
This one brings out this one. अब उस way, दूसरी side.
अरे.
Okay. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. Tell me which one you want to do first. I'll open that one. I keep having this moments where I just leave.
Okay, my aim is really bad. So
Nah.
whatever you open, I'm not gonna do my best anyway. So you do what you want to do. I'll.
Go to the left one. Go to the left one.
Okay. Let's go with the left.
But I think you can do all of them from the middle, no?
I think yeah, I can. If I'm not wrong. Wait, let me get in the center. Ah!
You see the arrows in front of your mouth? That's where you're gonna spit, basically. So, mouse say you can change the direction of those.
मैं मर गई.
Go
Fuck
back, go
this
back.
game. Bhai. Wait. Nice. Sorry. Peace.
Go back.
Peace. Okay.
Yeah, just stay
Okay.
there.
Let's go.
Look at the left one. Look left.
I'm looking.
With the mouse. You can change it with the mouse.
See, if I'm
rotate your mouse.
You know what? Oh, now I got it. My bad. Yeah, now do it. I'll do it from here.
Middle. Oh, that one's gone.
Yeah. Oh, that one's gone too. Ah! Oh! Oh my god.
Almost.
Oh,
Come
it's
on.
difficult, man.
अरे fuck. Timing हो गई.
Okay.
दोबारा करते हैं. Stay in the middle.
I'm staying in the middle, yeah.
पहले right वाला, then middle and then left.
Give me a minute. Wait.
Okay.
Whew. Let me turn off the music. This music is annoying. Okay, let's start. Let's start.
3, 2, 1, go. Nice.
Oh, let's go.
Let's see. You got this.
Oh, this was easy. I was being very impatient, man. Thanks.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. I think we both have to just stand on this.
No, I'm supposed to break the chains. No, I'm not supposed to break the chains. Wee. By the way, chat, tomorrow we're gonna do.
Oh, bhai. Oh, no, 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 no. Break the foot, break the foot, break the foot.
You're supposed to destroy the food. You're supposed to destroy. Mommy. Mommy.
Ah, shit. Fuck.
The fuck?
I think I meant. Oh, what? It's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Hi, Fire. Welcome in. Hi. Good morning, Fire. Welcome to the stream. Chat, show some love to AK and Fire. If you haven't followed them, show some love, drop some follows to them. I destroyed them for two.
Nice.
Yeah,
One gone.
We did it. One more. We can do it.
On my way, on my way, on my way.
Let's go. Oh God, song for it. Fire, how are you feeling?
भाई कितना सारा सोना है यार नीचे.
Is it gold?
Yeah, that's all gold. That's all gold.
Wow. That's nice.
Oh fuck.
Hey, fly.
Ooh.
Why did I die?
I think you gotta fly now.
I don't know how to fly.
You got this, it's okay.
मेरे से ना हो पाएगा. How to fly in this angle? How to fly?
W and D, I think. Try that.
I can't fly.
Just fly normally and WD.
Oh,
nice.
Get in that air thingy. I forgot. Okay, never mind. Oh, nice. No, your turn. Your turn.
Ooh, 5. Dragon breath.
Fire, have you played Split Fiction before? Have you tried this game? Ah!
Oh, no.
Ah! Nahi! Okay, this is very kind. Adi! I can't. Bro, I can't. This is too difficult. It's too difficult.
D and shift. It's okay.
What? The fuck?
Nice. Andy.
I have to restart.
Oh.
My timing. Oh.
Hi, Assassin's Blade. Hello, Rishi bhai. Kaise ho? Only one more stream, then I have a little thing. Nice. Good job.
Fuck you. Yeah, this last one.
You can wait for the platforms. They do take some time before going down.
Hi, Assassin's Blade. Welcome in. Welcome to the stream. Are you the first time in my chat? Yeah. नहीं. मुझे लग गए.
क्या लगा?
मैं गुस्से में आके मेरा हाथ मार दिया.
Oh my. Oh. Good job.
I'm so done. नहीं.
अभी
Okay, patient.
अभी तो स्टार्ट भी नहीं किया.
I testing like goons. What kind of name is that?
Go now.
देख मैंने किया यार ये चीटिंग है. I did it.
Shift वाला.
I did that. Wait. This is gonna take ages now. See you all in 2027. Chat. I did it.
Oh, let's
I
go.
did it. Stupid I am, bro. I'm stupid.
Nah, all good.
Lizard, lizard,
Oh.
lizard,
This angle is
lizard,
weird.
lizard, 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 lizard.
Huh.
I think it's your turn now. Oh, this is crazy, man. Oh, this is
Oh, it's a. Oh, the green
again the
thingies.
same thing. Yeah. Arey, my angle. I can't. Oh, I tried. I missed it.
कोई बात नहीं. Nope. No,
Oi,
I'm a
oi!
friend of the
I
knucklehead.
almost did that.
Why am I a
I
knucklehead, man?
almost did that. No, I'm
Oh.
a friend of Knucklehead named Terra Blaze. Arey, Assassin's Blade is from your side. It's from
Hi.
your chat.
Yes.
Oh, hi, Assassin's Blade. Hi,
Oh,
Testing
बाप रे.
Like Goons. Are you the first time in my chat? Welcome to the stream. How are you?
Last one.
Wait, हो तो
Did we?
गए, सारे हो
Did
तो
we
गए.
do it? Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did it. We
Can we?
almost did it. I
Then
don't
can
know
we?
how. एक minute. Just a minute.
Wait.
Sorry. Testing Like Goons. Welcome to the stream. How are you? How did you find our channel? Welcome to the stream. Which part of the world are you from? Hi, Dhruv.
Wait.
Hi, Sakuna.
340. Let's go. कौन था? Who was the 340th?
Oh, you got
340
a follow.
followers.
Nice.
Yes. Goal complete.
Let's go.
Who
Hi,
was it?
Sakuna. Good evening.
I don't see who it was. Ban jump. I can't move without jumping.
I fell.
I can't move without jumping. I can't even move without this. I'm giving you the points back. No, I'm jumping. We are not going to be able to progress without the jumps.
As in, you're not able to jump? Try.
He did a ban in-game action.
Who?
Assassin's Blade.
Madam?
I have a
Hi,
redeem
Rosie. Welcome to the stream.
where for like 5,000 channel points you can ban an in-game action. Oh no.
Oh.
There's 4 now.
How will we survive then?
Oh shit.
Okay, let's do it. How are you, Rosie? Welcome to the stream. Good evening.
Nice.
Thanks for some love to Rosie.
Nice, Olax.
I died.
All good.
Hi, JK. Welcome to the stream. How are you feeling?
No. I'll give you the points back. Oh shit.
It's not possible without the jumps, man. For how many minutes can you not jump?
I don't know. Maybe 5 minutes, I think.
Without jump, there is no possibility in this game.
Come on, get me. Oh shit. I couldn't make
Oh,
it.
I did this one.
I couldn't make it.
I died.
Oh, I made it to that one.
Okay, this
Nice.
one is done. This one is done. Let's go.
Last one.
Oh my god. Hey, welcome in, Raiders.
Raid.
How are you? From Mimanshi. Hi, Mimanshi. Oh my god, Mimanshi with a raid of 18. That's crazy. Mimanshi, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for the raid. How are you all?
Hello Raiders, welcome in. Welcome to Olax's
Welcome in,
channel.
Raiders. How are you? Accidentally message on my alt account earlier in chat. I hope the stream is going well. The stream is going awesome, Ruzi. Welcome in, Raiders. Me, Manshi. Thank you so much for the follow. How are you all feeling? Welcome in, Raiders. If you are new to the channel, namaste. My name is Olax. I'm from India. I'm a variety streamer. I play a lot of Dead by Daylight, currently Split Fiction, Last of Us. We also play indie games, horror games, stupid games. We also do community games. We also do cooking stream and arrows in chat. Speaking of cooking stream, we're gonna do a cooking stream tomorrow, probably.
Oh, let's
If I
go.
find all the ingredients. I hope.
OnlyFans. OnlyFans returns.
OnlyFans. OnlyFans. Episode 10 of OnlyFans.
Nice. I think it's gonna be a jumping thingy.
Oh, okay.
I'm having a feeling it's gonna be a jumping. Oh.
Can you
There
not
he
jump
is.
right now?
There he is. I can. I gave away the points.
Okay.
Give them back. Oh, there he is. The turtle that was running away. Oh, he's using his balls again.
What balls? He got some
No, no, no,
balls?
no, 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 no,
Hi, Prince Harry.
no,
Thank you so much for the
no, 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 no.
Wait, 1 minute. Did happen? Wait a minute.
W
Damn,
counts.
Wait, somebody called me up. So,
These nuts.
give me a minute now. My mom is calling.
चलेगा कोई दिक्कत नहीं. I can mess with Night Bottle then. वो stream elements के सारे links हटा रहा था. Chat moderation is off. What else did I put in Nightbot? I need 200 points for you know what. I don't know what you need 200 points for, but I thought Steam Elements गाली दे रहा आपको. नहीं. It was like adding links. That's why Nightbot removed it. So abhi, can I add like Stream Elements as an exception in Nightbot for chat moderation? Why didn't my songs play at all? Try now. I think it was because of the filter. The links filter, maybe. When did she become African? Wait, what? It's not present for sure. What's not pleasant? Arey, Rishwai. I was gonna ask you if you wanna play Forza like around 8. But then I played alone because I knew you were playing during the day. भाई कितने mascots उड़ाओगे भाई? He has broken I think around almost 100 mascots now. He's really close to 100. Good that you did not. I'm in meeting around that time. Nah, I would have just messaged you. If you wanna hop in, that's fine. But otherwise, I got some good cars now. Got a Revolto. Was bidding for a Gallardo today. That didn't happen because I didn't have enough creds. I'm almost done with the map. Wait, already? What do you mean, already done with the map? Motherfucker, teach me how to play. What do you want me to teach you? What do you need to be taught? Exploration 80%? Wait, how? You have like explored less roads than me. Welcome back. I have more. No. I have more. Check now. I have more roads now. How many years current playtime? He also started alongside me on Sunday. We started together. Yeah, 3 days. But the thing is, he plays way more than me when he does. Now I see Assassin is grinding when you are doing something else plays. Yes. You all are crazy, you know.
Hi, please.
Hello, welcome back.
Thank you. Hi, Mimanshi. Sorry. I had to go. My mom called me up.
All good, all good.
Hi, Dhruv.
Mm.
Mm,
Krish, what do you want me to teach you in Forza? What do you need to be taught? How to drive. I'm fast, yeah, boy. Also terrible. I found 5 treasure cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm on 6th,
Hi,
I think, right now.
Shripad. Welcome to the stream. How are you? Welcome back, Shripad.
I
How
have
are you?
6 now. I have 6 treasure cars, 3 barn finds, and yeah, we found 2 last time. I found 5 more. Oh, yeah,
How are
3
you,
barn
Shripad?
finds.
How was your day? Welcome to the stream. Good evening.
New sub badge. It's the octopus one, right? The new sub badge.
Oh yeah, it's the new one. I have to update the remaining one as well. But I'm not able to find like the perfect ones. And I didn't know, because when you upload emotes, you're not supposed to upload the emotes in 3 different sizes, right? You can just
Yeah,
upload
yeah.
one. In
The
sub
biggest
badges,
one,
you're
yes.
supposed to upload, yeah.
Yeah, you need like all 3 sizes.
All 3 sizes. That's the most annoying part. I don't know why did they do that. They should have done it like only one. Ah.
Resume playing. I want to
But yeah.
redeem something. Ah, fuck. Yeah, I'll do it like without asking even. I know what you're gonna redeem. Take care.
What happened? What happened?
As soon as you start, nah, I feel like my glasses are gonna come off.
Why? What happened?
Someone's gonna redeem something.
Oh.
Give me my points back.
Why is this thing coming on where right now? Never mind. Okay. Okay.
Fuck your song if I.
Never mind.
It's not working. My bad, Cash.
Chalo, then let's continue the game.
Yes.
Sorry, मम्मी ने एक फोन किया था.
Husbando who?
Husbando who olu? I'm the husband.
She's the husband, yes. Oh. Kill that.
Yeah,
Go to left.
Oh, I died. Never mind.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, we gotta fight that now, I think.
Yep. Oh, nice.
Boss fight.
Oh, let's go.
You'll have to remove the metal while I'll
Yep.
crush the crystals.
Got it.
Oh, we're not fighting the turtle, I think.
What are we fighting then? Not yet. Oh, we are fighting. Okay, we are fighting his attacks. We are supposed to defend. We're not supposed to attack right now.
Oh, that's how we fight. Oh, break the things and I'll do
I'm
this.
supposed to break all these things. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh my god. You got trapped?
Yeah. No.
What?
I'm dead.
Ah,
Stay alive.
I'm so sorry.
I'm back.
The thing is, okay, now I'm stuck. Now I'm stuck.
Got you.
That aim thing is very difficult, man. Aim करना बहुत मुश्किल है. Oh,
I died.
I'll stay alive, don't worry.
Got the other as well. Lose the glasses.
Grandmaster!
Fuck.
Oh my god.
I lost my glasses.
Polly Polly, hello! Hi Rajput, welcome to the stream.
Oh shit! Run, run, run. It's in here. How did I die?
Ah! I died as well, I died. Oh my god, you have to spawn.
Oh, no, 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 no.
I'm back. We're supposed to destroy that thing. Wait, let me go that side, yeah. Oh, nice. No,
Oh shit, I died.
Oh, what? How did
I
we
died
die?
as well.
How did we both die?
He was jumping, na? I found out today that you can
Good
upgrade
morning,
cars.
welcome to the stream. How are you feeling?
I think his head can be broken off.
Pressure traitor. Hey, why is that bar? What is that bar?
Oh, shit.
Upper up. Never mind.
That's his health.
I'm looking for a bit. Okay, thank you so much for the luck. Rewarding.
Oh fuck.
Much good. Ah!
You got this. Oh no no no. Oh, his head, his head, his head. Head, 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 head. His head.
Head?
Break the head. Break the head.
Ah! I missed it. I missed his head.
It's okay. Oh shit, I'm dead.
Dead too. I'm dead.
Wasted 100k shit upgrades on Sunday.
Mate. Sorry. Ready?
Yes.
Drink water. Be calm.
Give me a sec. I'll hydrate in a second. Give me a sec. Fuck. No! I'm dead. Stay alive.
I'm stringing. I'm trying to stay alive. Yeah.
Head, 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 head. Get the head. Nice.
Let's go. Oh. Did we
भाई
miss
सिर
or
तोड़ दिया. भाई सिर तोड़ दिया उसका.
Did we do that?
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
Yeah, you did that. Yeah, I think we did that.
बाप रे.
Why did I die? Stay alive. I'm back. Nice. Oh my god, I died. I'm spawning, I'm respawning. Let's go.
Nice. Head again.
Done.
Nice.
Let's go.
Once more. One last time, I think.
I think one last time.
Mm-hmm,
Oh, I died. Stay alive. I'm back.
Head. Get the head. Nice. Oh. Over here.
I'm doing. I got it.
Oh, where?
Oh, what? What the fuck?
What?
Okay. Oh, it's top. Oh my god, I thought it's a very wrong thing. I thought we are
No.
under his anus. It looks like it looks like we are in his anus.
No, he's upside down. Hi, Manus. Welcome in. Ghost Viking, can you...
Manus, welcome
Ghost
to the
Viking.
stream.
Shout out, please, for Manus.
I'll never get used to green screen Ola. Arey yaar, Rajput, it's alright. That's why I don't stream Split Fiction that frequently.
कैसे हो? I'm good, man. How are you? How you been? Bangalore है ना अभी तो?
Hi, Manas.
Such a waste of RGB lights. Oh, we're going faster now.
Yeah, because I think
GG's, buddy. GG's, buddy.
Please. Rest in peace or for toys? No. Can I? Never mind.
Working. Do we get weapons now?
I was going to ask, can I do some graphic settings?
चलेगा कोई दिक्कत नहीं.
Can I?
Story
Shall I start? या
story के बाद कर लेना यार तो.
Just a minute, I'm just setting one thing.
चलेगा. Cruel death to that tortoise. Yeah.
Let's go.
What can you do though? He was an enemy.
Cruel death to that tortoise. Yeah, Shripad. But that was the enemy.
Oh.
We were supposed to kill him.
That might be the king of the dragons.
Yep.
His statue at least.
Do you keep motion blur on?
I
I think
think
motion
so.
blur का कोई option नहीं है ना? है?
I don't know. I'm a lurk working.
Even I don't know.
Okay,
I've never
Manis.
seen that in.
Glasses off is much better. What do you mean? Hello? अच्छा, I had to hydrate, right? यार हर बार है ना मेरा चश्मा उतरवा देते हैं मेरा.
क्या हुआ?
Drink water. Be calm.
You could have convinced him to be good. Spare life. Wow. Is there any motion blur वाला कुछ भी नहीं है यहाँ पे? Rajput, if you want to see.
Graphic में. Yeah, there's no motion blur, na.
Yeah, there is nothing like that. Hi Spidey, welcome to the stream. How are you? Welcome. Good evening, Spidey. How are you feeling today?
Posture check. Check my posture.
Meme rain. Hi Sora. Sora Puff. Hi,
Hello, Sora.
Hi, Sora Puff. Hi. Sora ra. How are you feeling, Sora? How have you been? How are you? Wait. I'm doing good. How are you? We're doing amazing, Spidey. Yo.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, motion blur is shit. I mean, yeah.
Y'all didn't complete Split Fiction. Nah, we're still on chapter 4.
Sora,
5?
we only streamed like 6 times in March, and then we took a break in April and May. In April, Blaze had some things. In May, I was having some things, and we couldn't finish it. So now we are taking we're only streaming it for like 2 hours or something like that. Not much then. Not more than that.
In the sky.
How are you, Sora? How was your day?
Oh, we get swords.
Sports. Oh, we got sports, man. That's crazy.
Hold on to it. We're gonna need them later.
Epic game. Yeah, Sora, this game is really awesome. Oh, my graphic feels nice.
Oh, did they grow even more? I think they grew, no? They grew.
Okay, follow my lead.
This is so nice. It's so nice.
Oh.
Welcome back, Drew.
Approach her with care and make sure you.
Sora, were you a Mio or you were a Zoe?
Oh, good girl. You were saying?
Wait, is it a girl?
No, nothing.
Let's go. Oh, I can fly now. Finally.
Oh, you can fly?
Yeah.
Wait. I cannot. Wait. Can I not fly or what? Hey, I cannot fly.
You can.
I can't. Wait. There's something. No, I'm not able to control. I'm not able to
shit.
control. Wait. Hey, I cannot fly. Wait.
Change your
I'm not
direction.
able to fly.
Okay. Up is down. Down is up. Press down to go up.
Oh my god.
Hi.
Okay.
And you have to reach before me so you can break the shield because it's a
What just
metal
happened
shield.
on my screen?
Metal shield gonna come out, so careful. Break the metal shield. Break the metal shield. Oh, we're gonna die again. It's okay. It's okay.
My bad. Change your direction opposite controls. Yeah. Sora, this is not. It's a regular thing. I got some problems.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Shield's gonna come in. Nice.
Yeah. Let's go.
Try to stay back. Don't go too in front, cause there might be something that only I can break. Oh, they. Okay, they changed the place on their own.
We're supposed to break this one.
Yes.
Let's go.
I think. Are we supposed to go right into the eye?
One of them.
This one.
Bro, that was a close call.
Shield.
Okay, now
Shield.
I'm supposed to go. Yeah, it's going. Okay, it's taking the speed on its own.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Show yourself, coward.
Go.
Oh, it's gonna come out
my
now. Oh, flying battle. Is it gonna be a flying battle? It could be a flying battle.
It could be. Let's see.
I hope it's a flying battle. I really hope. Oh.
I can't do anything. We can't do any control.
Yeah,
now,
it's
no?
it's a.
It's a.
Oh my, that's a big fucking track. Oh, it's going down.
That big purple dragon looks nice and open to conversations about his behavior.
No mercy! Bring it on!
Oh shit. Gotta go down. No.
What the fuck?
Is that your best shot?
That's you.
Yeah. Next is you.
Let's go.
That's mine, I think.
Now yours.
Yeah. Go towards the right, I think.
Nope.
Right?
Right.
Yes. Nice.
Now your turn. Up,
Right.
down. Oh
Down.
my god, I went up.
I went
oh
down.
My god.
My bad. I didn't know there was an up and down.
Yeah, wait. Never mind. I'm damaged. I need to.
It's okay.
Ooh. Oh wait. Okay. Oh, this game is crazy, man.
It is. Go down. Oh.
Okay. I think it's my turn now.
Yours? I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
Mine.
Your turn.
And there you go. Oh shit.
Together we stand.
Never mind.
Yeah. Cross it. Good job.
Don't let him escape. Not on our watch.
Never mind.
Ooh.
Whoa. Oh.
Oh my god, the dodging.
Oh, and this. Okay.
Yours is gonna come up.
Oh, whoa. Bye. Right. Oh my god. Yo. Whoa, this is difficult. This is difficult, bro. Yours.
Yep.
Yep.
It's here.
Oh. Yours again.
Mm-hmm.
Dodge.
Yep.
Ah! What the? Sorry. Oh my god. Sorry, I screamed. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Another one.
Yep.
Go down.
Down.
Go up.
Go up.
Oh, it's here.
Sorry, I yelled.
No. Go.
Oh. Goddamn.
Go. Oh shit! No, I died.
Oh no. I survived. I have to dodge again.
Good job.
I can't die at this moment, bro. Oh, what the?
What's that
Bro.
glowing thing, Zoe? We've reached its lair. Right.
Can't even read chats right now.
Yeah.
Too logged in, man. Too logged in.
Is it gonna be here?
Do
It's
you
here,
use
I think.
conditioner? You mean hair conditioner, Rajput?
Oh, bapre.
Whoa.
Oh my.
You okay?
She's stupid. No, Rajput. I don't usually use. Like once in a blue moon, I use a conditioner.
Ooh.
I missed it. I didn't know.
Parkour.
I had to go over there. I missed it. Oh my god.
Parkour.
Dead end.
Oh.
Oh no. What?
I think our dragon's gonna come in now.
Huh? God complex?
Ooh.
God complex? Are you serious?
Oh shit.
Oh my god, I got scared for a while. Like, really?
What now? This way.
God, stop trolling. Let's attack. मैं गिर गई. मैं attack करते गिर गई. How stupid I am, bro.
कोई बात नहीं. चलो.
मैं फिर गिर गई.
Oh shit, damn.
Oh,
Are we
I
supposed to
saved
get on
myself.
top?
Never mind.
Wait, what?
We both died. That sounds awful. What sounds awful?
Oh, over there. Run.
Oh, we're supposed to run. No. Oh, we are supposed to.
Oh, break this. Run. There's stuff.
Damage.
Yeah.
Damage. Almost done.
No.
Okay, we're done.
Oh shit. Nice.
Yeah, we did it.
Good job.
Nice.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. They got us. Oh, दोबारा मारना है.
Yep.
Oh damn. Over here.
I fell. How am I falling down?
Acid drive-by.
Oh. Oh damn. I'll kill these things, you kill the stone.
Yeah, I'm killing the stone. I'm killing the stone, yeah. Let's go, let's go. Almost done, almost done. Let's go once.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good
let's
job,
go.
good job, good job.
Yep. Thanks.
Please
Savings
fall
are
down.
okay.
Please fall down.
This game would
Oh.
have been insane in 3D, man.
भाई चक्कर आ जाते हैं यार.
I died or what? I died.
Oh shit. I think I died as well. Did I? No.
No, no, no. Savings are. Yeah, savings, savings, savings.
Nice.
Whoa! Savings?
Oh.
What?
Nice. Good job. Good girl. The dragon, of course.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I died, I died. Did I die? Yeah. Why am I
Think so.
dying?
Oh, the
Okay, we are supposed to do it together.
stones. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
not possible without doing it alone. Run ASAP.
Hmm?
Run ASAP. Do it, 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 do it. Almost there, almost there.
Nice,
Let's go.
nice, nice, nice.
Oh, let's go, man. Hi, Zach. Welcome to the stream. How are you feeling? Good evening.
Hi,
Just came to say
Sake.
hi. It's alright, Zach. I hope
Is
you're
it?
doing good, Zach.
Oh, oh, baap re. Did you see what it just did?
I saw.
भाई आँख निकाल के उसमें poison मार दिया.
Oh, we took a lot of time to finish this chapter, man.
Hmm.
Crazy. Yeah, but we are doing side stories as well, no? Yeah, never mind.
Uh-huh.
Final push, Mio! Hell yeah! Hold on tight!
Hold now, hold now, hold now.
I flew.
Cling to it. Now.
I'm clinging right now.
Yeah, we gotta leave when it's like not doing anything. Move, move, move. Now move. Cling.
Oh, I'm not getting how to move. I'm not getting how to move.
You stop clinging and then you move.
I can't move. I can't move. That's what I'm saying.
उसका थोड़ा सा it takes a bit of time when you leave the button ना. आ जाओ आ जाओ आ जाओ. Ready? 3, 2.
Wait, okay. Yeah. Let's go.
Release.
Are we supposed to time it?
I think so.
1, 2,
3,
3,
2,
go.
1. Oh shit.
3, 2,
2.
1, go. Nope. Ah!
No. 3, 2, 3,
3, 2,
1.
2,
1.
go.
Go.
Ah, wait. I'm doing awesome, Sack. Wait. 3, 2, 1, release.
Still no.
Ah! 3, 2, 1, release.
Ooh, let's go. भाई कर दिया.
Delay in my voice.
हाँ.
No, there was. Oh my god, that was so crazy.
Oh, again.
This man.
Again.
Wait.
Again.
3,
Three.
2, 1, release.
Oh, let's go. First try. Nice.
Oh, I swear to God, this is a clip, man.
E.
You know, there was a delay in my voice actually.
Ah.
So I released it late then. I realized there was a 1 second delay.
Gone. The dragon's gone. Oh.
Lizard, 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 lizard.
Let's go. Dragon's gone. Oh, it's gonna burst. Damn.
I think we're done now with Dragon chapter.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's finished now. Yeah. Finally, we did the chapter 4. Right? We took a lot of time, man. We took a lot of time. Hi, Phantom. Kaisen ba? Hum theek ba? How are you? Welcome
All
to the
good,
stream.
man.
Good evening. GG's. Aww. Yay.
GG's
We
indeed.
did it. Yeah.
This is it.
Hmm.
This is where we say goodbye, my scaled friend. Now fly!
Cause now you can.
You know what, Zoe?
Wait, what? What? हेलो भाई एंड पे रुक गया. Did Olax's stream die? Did Olax's stream die, guys? I can't hear her. Or she's not speaking. I have no idea. Stream dead? Olax's stream died? Oh yeah, it died. I think her network died. Fatwa. Oh my. What time is it, guys? मेरे को कुछ डिनर के लिए भी मंगवाना है. फट गया भाई. सही में फट गया यार. I think Olax's internet died. It's okay, we can get dinner till then. Has stream died? Yes. Yes, it did. Lingo, what's your job again? Lingo's job is to translate anything that's not English, I think. Hi Naruto. Hello. Can you guys even hear me? Like on Olax's side. She started again. She started again. I think. I could see like minutes like below her stream, so. Oh wait, Naruto, you're over here. My bad, my bad. I thought you were in Olax's chat. Hello, how are you? Welcome in. How's your day going, man? Hmm. I wonder what to do now. Hmm. It's okay. We can get our dinner till the time she returns. I guess. Okay, I can order dinner, na? It's okay. Hmm. Guys, Burger King or Lapino's? Which one? अबे मैकडी भी आ रहा है अभी. What should I get for a drink? Red orange? Or maybe a medium Coca-Cola? Medium Coca-Cola, I think. But the thing is, this is gonna be too pricey for just dinner. And I want something light, man. Let's get Lapinos. Paneer tikka butter pizza. Let's do that. And they have like sauces, right? Because I want a dip. I want a dip, man. I can't find the dips here. Where are the dips? Mira. Wait, no. Cheesy dip, jalapeno dip, peri peri dip, spicy 65 dip. I'll get the spicy one. You know what? Instead of a pizza, I can also do garlic bread. Sides. Garlic breadsticks. Sweet corn stuffed garlic breadsticks. No. Cheezo garlic breadsticks. Sure. I think this is a good order. I got a makhni do pyaza personal giant slice and a cheeso garlic breadstick with spicy 65 dip. Good enough. Good enough for Trailblaze. Is she gonna come back? No messages as well, so I don't know. Oh. Hello.
I think my Wi-Fi is actually down. पता नहीं.
Ow.
वैसे भाई पूछा तो बोल रहा है कि रिचार्ज करा है. It says not recharged, तो वही अभी इशू है. पता नहीं क्या सीन है. But Wi-Fi का प्रॉब्लम है. So sorry यार.
कोई दिक्कत नहीं. मैं समझ गया था एकदम से कट हुआ ना सब कुछ. मेरा वाईफाई डाउन है.
वाईफाई का ही चक्कर हो गया यार. बहुत अचानक से, एक्सपेक्टेड नहीं था. वो तो ठीक है, अच्छा स्टोरी खत्म हो गई. बट एंड मिस हो गया.
कोई बात नहीं. वो नेक्स्ट टाइम कर लेंगे. आई थिंक हो जाएगा. अभी फिर क्या प्लान है? वो आ जाएगा वापस या क्या है?
आई डोंट नो. एक तो and even if I'm trying to connect my hotspot connect नहीं हो रहा है. दिक्कत है. You must be on your stream right now, है ना?
हाँ, I'm on stream. Yes.
तो अभी स्ट्रीम कर रहा है ना?
Yes. अभी I think 5 to 10 minutes more if you are not coming. क्योंकि अदरवाइज फिर मैं डिनर करने जाऊंगा थोड़ी देर.
Not coming. Possible ही नहीं अपने.
चलेगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं.
हाँ, let's call it off आज के लिए. खत्म हो गया मेन है.
कोई दिक्कत नहीं.
प्लान था कल तो मेरा कुकिंग स्ट्रीम का प्लान था. अगर मेरे में एनर्जी रही, इफ देयर इज एनर्जी इन मी, कल सडन प्लान बना सकते हैं.
चलेगा. मेरे को
कितनी कर लेंगे. मैं तेरे को बता दूंगा अगर इफ आई हैव एनर्जी.
7 के अराउंड मेरे को पिंग कर देना कि आज करना है नहीं करना. ठीक है.
मेरी स्ट्रीम ही 7-8 बजे कुछ खत्म होगी. अगर तू स्ट्रीम कर रहा है तो आई लास्ट यू इन द मिडल ऑफ द स्ट्रीम. इफ यू आर डाउन वी कैन प्ले. इफ यू आर नॉट डाउन इट्स कंप्लीटली फाइन. कल देख लेंगे.
चलेगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं.
वरना क्योंकि क्या है, आज क्या है, वेडनेसडे ना?
यस.
आज वेडनेसडे है. कल थर्सडे मेरा कुकिंग का प्लान था. फ्राइडे मैंने किसको बोल के रखा है? फ्राइडे शायद मैं फ्राइडे शायद डीवीडी का बोल के रखा था मैंने करण को. सैटरडे फॉल गाइस है और संडे को वापस मेरे डीवीडी बोल के रखा है. इसीलिए सीन ये है. अगर कल हुआ तो कल करते हैं, नहीं तो आई सी 1-1.5 घंटा कुछ खेल लेंगे वापस.
चलेगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.
अगर जल्दी स्ट्रीम कर सकूं ना मैं तो आई लेट यू नो.
श्योर. कोई दिक्कत नहीं.
आई एम सो सॉरी यार.
अरे कोई दिक्कत नहीं यार. उसमें क्या है, मेरा भी तो कितने बार जाता है नेट. इसका कुछ नहीं कर सकते भाई.
बहुत ज्यादा अजीब सा हो गया बताना.
कोई बात नहीं.
इसका सही में
आई वुड से टेक सम रेस्ट ना. कल वैसे भी लॉन्ग स्ट्रीम्स है आई थिंक. ठीक है. एंड डोंट स्ट्रेस इट. कोई दिक्कत नहीं.
थैंक यू.
I'll close Split Fiction
कोई
and
ना,
अभी
take care.
फिर
Once again, so sorry. I feel so bad,
अरे कोई
Wi-Fi
दिक्कत
का
नहीं
issue
यार,
है.
कोई दिक्कत नहीं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं। ये वाईफाई वाले का कोई सीन नहीं है
कोई
यार,
ना, चलो.
चिंता नहीं करो, ठीक है?
Yeah.
चलो,
Bye bye.
बाय बाय, टेक केयर, कल मिलते हैं।
Take care. Have fun stream.
थैंक यू, बाय बाय। गाइस, क्या करें? Should we end as well then? We can end now, but let's see. Lizard was 15 minutes ago. चलते हैं. I'll raid on Kawa then. There's the raid message, guys. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate everyone who joined. And thank you for making me reach 340. Really appreciate it. I hope we can get to the next checkpoint 350 soon. Yeah. Jaldi karte hain. And yes, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Good night. Take care.